A car test drive is the ultimate audition. It's your chance to see if this vehicle is more than just a pretty face. You're evaluating the performance, comfort, and those little details that could make or break your driving experience. In those crucial minutes, you're not just testing a car, you're deciding if it's a match made in automotive heaven or just another vehicle that looks good on paper but falls short on the road. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Car Boss, where we talk about the business of automotive dealership. Welcome back, Commander.
Good morning, Taj, and namaskar to everyone.
Commander, offering test drive to a potential customer is widely practiced in the industry. However, the outcome of these test drives are not very encouraging. How can this deficiency be overcome?
Right. I think before I start on take on your question, just to go back to our previous episode where we spoke about inquiry conversion. And I did mention that the current level of inquiry conversion that is in the industry is about less than 20%, which to me is very, very poor, very not something which is acceptable. And we spoke about how to improve conversion by probing customers during the course of discussion between the consultant and the potential buyers. Probe him in such a way to find out as to what are his objections to probably buy your vehicle. And once we know, we understand what could be his objection, then we are able to address those concerns and make sure or encourage a potential buyer to buy our vehicle. That is what we discussed in the last episode. And we said by doing those probing, and we discussed the methods to do that, we said we could possibly reach a conversion rate of 40%, which is acceptable.
Sure.
Now, in addition to that probing that we talked about, there is another very important thing what you mentioned is giving test drives to potential buyers. Now, this is, like you said, every dealership is very more than happy to give test drives.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at the way this whole process is conducted, it is not done professionally. The sales consultants are not trained to do this in the right way. With the result, this becomes more of a formality to please your OEMs rather than something to achieve better results. Now, in my understanding of this whole process, I would think there are 5 steps if you follow, which can really enhance the effectiveness of these test drives. Now, what are these 5 steps? The first is selecting the right vehicle, which I mean is, if a potential buyer comes to buy a petrol vehicle, you have to give a test drive in a petrol vehicle. Now, you can't say, sir, I don't have a petrol vehicle. Would you like to take one in the diesel? It's same. It's almost the same. I've seen this happening.
Yeah.
Someone comes to buy a manual transmission. He said, sir, we only got an automatic transmission. Take a test drive that, is almost the same. Now, that doesn't really work. You have to make sure that if the potential buyer is insisting on certain features that you want to see, it could be something like ventilated seats when you drive. Now, you have to take a car with ventilated seats. You can't take a car without a ventilated seat, sir. This car, you can probably imagine how the ventilated seats will be. No, I think that's the very poor way of giving a test drive. So select the right vehicle depending upon the customer, the preferences. The second part is, getting the vehicle ready for test drives. Now, when I say getting the vehicle ready for test drives, very, very important that the vehicle on which the potential buyer goes for a test drive is in top-notch condition. There could be no compromise on that. Because imagine he would always think that the one he's driving is similar to the one that he's going to finally get. You can't have vehicles which are creaking, which got suspension problems, where the clutch has got lots of play, or it is dirty, disgusting, dusty. These are not things that can be accepted. The vehicle has to be in top-notch condition. Very, very important. If you don't have it ready, avoid giving a test drive. Wait for a while till the time you get the car ready. But you cannot compromise on the quality of the test drive vehicle. Very important. Second step. The third step is that every dealership should work out and identify the features that you want to demonstrate during the test drive. Now, you're not taking the car on a test drive to tell him, sir, look at my infotainment system. It's wonderful. He hears that's nice music. Those are static displays. Those are static demonstrations.
True.
This can be done. You want to see your leg space, you can do it in the showroom. You don't have to take you on test drive. So very, very important for dealerships is for every model that they have, they must drop a list of at least 3 features. 3 is the minimum. You should go up to much more than that. Features that you want to actually demonstrate or during the test drive. Now, let's discuss a few things so that people understand what this means. If a person says, look, you have a brake assist system, now that must be demonstrated. You can't, make a customer imagine what will be a brake event. So this has to be listed down. Or it could be something like, this got very wonderful, reversing camera, which gives you a very good view. Now, this must be also demonstrated. So you make out a list of features that you want to actually demonstrate. Like I said, it should be minimum 3. It can be much more than that. Now, that's one part of it, identify. The next part is the sales consultants must be trained on how to demonstrate this.
True.
It just cannot be that you have the list and the sales consultant takes a potential buyer and you're not able to demonstrate it. Imagine a feature like you have fully automated hands-free parking system.
True.
Now you tell the buyer, sir, this has got this thing, you can go and park. Now you don't know how to demonstrate it, doesn't have that impact. The impact is when you demonstrate that. So the consultants must be trained on doing all the, understanding how the features are to be demonstrated. I remember in a particular case of an off-road vehicle, where the sales were down. Now we realized that test drives were given, but they were given on a beautiful tarmac. Now you don't do an off-roading vehicle on a tarmac. You should go on roads which possibly has got enough and more, bumps and and all sorts of kind of terrain where where you show correct the road holding capacity, the suspension, etc. And once that was done, actually the sales of the vehicle went up. So very, very important is to identify the features that you want to demonstrate, train your consultants to demonstrate. This is step number 3. The step number 4 is actual demonstration of the features when you take them for a test drive. Now remember, when you conduct the test drive, make sure that the person who's buying the vehicle is the one who's driving it, not you. Make him sit down, make him comfortable, let him set everything in terms of his seats, his comfort, his height, everything is set so that once he starts to drive, he is not distracted by other means. And you explain to the buyer, so these are the features that I'm going to demonstrate. And don't, even if if it means that you need to go for a longer test drive, go for a longer test drive. But don't compromise or don't undermine the features that you want to demonstrate. So very, very important is actually conducting this test drive, demonstrating each of these features that you want. This must be done with all honesty and all sincerity. This is step number 4. Now you finish a test drive, you come back to the show. I don't think it's over. It's very important now you conduct a debrief with the buyer saying, sir, this test drive, I demonstrated, these are the features of the car. Now, remember one thing, that you should know what is the current car the buyer is driving. Now, there are certain features that car has already got. There's no idea trying to tell him this because he's already used to it.
Yes.
If you want to show someone the cruise control where he's driving a car with a cruise control, that does make it.
Yeah, true.
So you need to be very clear on what is the current car is driving so that you know which are the features. Others you'll be wasting your time. And probably the buyer also loses interest. He said, look, I've already seen it.
True.
So when you come back, you must debrief him on the features that you demonstrated and probably seek his opinion. So yes. I'm sure you like these features. What is your opinion? It's very good. Now, I would just think that if you can do these 5 steps of selecting the right vehicle, ensuring the vehicle is prepared for it, knowing the features that you want to demonstrate and training the sales consultants. The 4th is the actual test drive conducted without compromising. Even if it takes more time or takes more distance, go with it, but don't undermine that. 5th is to do the debrief. Now, if these 5 steps are done very diligently, I am very, very, very confident that your conversion rate will still go up. Because test drives are meant to clinch the deal. Because when you experience something is a time that you decide whether you want to buy it or not.
Correct.
So I think what is lacking today in the industry is there is no proper structuring. It is not been, the consultants are not trained. With the result, the whole test drive as a process is done as a formality, not with the intention of improving the conversion rate. So very, very confident that along with probing the customers, which is a phase one of the conversion, you do the test drive, which becomes part two of the conversion process. You can be sure that your conversion will be definitely more than 40%. But this is something that everyone must make an effort to identify, to put the process into place, train your consultant. And there you go, 40% and more will be your conversion.
Yeah, and that's the way to go about a test drive. Thank you all to our subscribers for watching, and we see you in the next one.
Thank you. Namaskar.